Good afternoon, Waterloo Region, and welcome to this week's Around the House Tip of the Week, where we're talking all about understanding today's home buyers. And this is really key when it comes to selling your home. You need to understand who it is that might be buying your home. Now, one disclaimer I want to mention is that I'm talking in general about today's home buyers. I'm not talking about the specific buyer for your specific home. What I mean by that is your demographic, your ideal demographic for home buyers for your home are going to have specific needs and wants. Perhaps you're in a densely populated area that's full of schools and kids, and they're looking for a family home and they need X number of bedrooms and that sort of thing. That's not what I'm here to talk about today. I want you to understand a little bit more about your buyer behaviors, because this is the same across the board regardless of what type of house you're selling. Okay, so for starters, I want to talk a little bit about why today's buyers are so different than yesterday's buyers, so to speak. One thing that's really impacted today's buyers is technology. Not only do we have access to all of our home listings so much easier than we ever used to, because of the internet, because of mobile apps, we're accessible everywhere we go, on the phone, constantly. So that's definitely made it so they can do a lot more. They can view a lot more homes in a short period of time. So they see them online before even actually stepping foot into them. So you don't have to worry about the whole driving around thing. They only go to see the homes that they really want to see. Because here's the thing, our time these days is more precious than it's ever been. Because what technology has also done for us is it's made us busier than ever. It's supposed to make us more productive, right? But what it's actually done is it's made us busier than ever, because we've figured out we can cram a lot more things into a day because we can be more productive. Therefore, we have even less time on our hands. Technology essentially has made us very impatient. Did you know that most people won't wait more than 3 seconds to wait for a video to load up? I'm telling you, it's a whole different world out there. So only 10% of your prospective home buyers have the ability to visualize the home beyond what they see in front of them. So this means that 90% of them don't have that ability. And frankly, they're not really willing to put the effort into it. Because you know what? Back in the day, that used to just be the case. You buy a house the way that it is, you fix it up the way that you want to. That was just all there was to it. You didn't really have much of a choice. There's so many options today. People have the opportunity to see things online, to do a lot more with technology, that they're just not as interested in taking the time unless we've completely spelled it out for them. So what home staging does essentially is it really helps to define the space, helps to really spell things out for your home buyers. Another thing you want to consider, as your home buyers are walking through the home, they're going to create a little checklist in their head of anything that they feel would need to be changed if they were to purchase the house. So this is anywhere from minor updates and repairs to full-fledged renovations. So any item that goes on that list is a line on the list, essentially. So they're not as concerned necessarily about how much each individual item costs. They will be, don't get me wrong, but initially they're just creating this list. And the longer that list is, the less likely they are to put an offer on the house. So, and again, they do care about the actual cost of those renovations as well. A lot of times home buyers will tend to overestimate what it would cost to do something. So, you need new flooring in one room, might cost, say $1,000. They're thinking in their head it's going to cost them $3,000. This is very common. So as that checklist gets bigger, it gets a lot more overwhelming. Now that said, if your house has everything updated, repaired, in really good condition, but let's say you need something like a new roof or a new furnace, it's one item on that list. So even though it's a large ticket item, at least it's only one item. So this is why it's really important to take care of any minor updates, repairs, and everything else. And in addition, your buyers want to see pride of ownership. They want to know that you have cared for your home in the time that you've had it. And ideally, if you've lived there for at least a few years, they want to see that you've done some sort of updates to the home as well. So make sure that you are taking care of any of these small repairs, especially because they're going to give the perception, if you skip those areas, they're going to perhaps you've missed some larger renovations as well. On the note of perceptions, you also want to think about your storage areas. Anytime you have any sort of closets, even if it's built-in storage that you have in an unfinished part of your basement, you're welcome to put things in those areas, of course, but you don't want to overflow them. Same thing with your garage. You don't want to overflow them. Now, if the option is throwing everything into storage and getting it out of the house and you don't have anywhere else to put it, fine. Get it out of the house so you're showing off each room in the house. But you also want to make sure you're showing off your storage areas, because no one wants to buy a house that has no storage. So if you see full closets and full unfinished rooms and the storage under the stairs, all your little nooks and crannies, if they're just jam-packed full, it feels as though you've outgrown that house, and potentially your buyers feel as though they won't have enough storage space for all of their items as well, especially if you're in a family home. Another thing when it comes to perceptions, did you know that an empty room will actually appear smaller than it is? A lot of people think that an empty room will appear larger. Most of today's home buyers, again, I said 90% of these guys don't have that ability to visualize. So they don't have the same sort of depth perception as well necessarily. So they're going to be challenging whether or not their furniture is going to fit in a room unless it's furnished. So where you can normally fit a king size bed, they might think they can only fit a queen size bed. Where you can normally fit a queen bed, they might think they can only fit a twin. So empty rooms can be very discouraging for buyers because they tend to think that they can't fit as much furniture in it as it will actually fit. So furnishing it helps to also show the scale of the room. Furnishing a room also helps to show the optimal placement of furniture. It takes the guesswork out for your buyers. So remember, buyers are a little bit lazy in that they don't want to, put a lot of work into figuring out how things should go in that house, right? So it's the same thing if you have your dining rooms, you're currently using it for your kids' play area, it's best to show it as a dining room because they really want things spelled out for them, and they're going to have a hard time visualizing their dining table and chairs in that area if you've got all of your kids' toys there. Today's buyers want to fall in love with the home, and this is one of the reasons why home staging is so important, because they want the opportunity to fall in love with the experience, the lifestyle, and the home itself. They want to envision themselves not only living there, but experiencing it. So whether that means raising a family or a place to come home to after a long week of traveling, or a place that their dogs can run around, whatever their lifestyle includes, they want to envision that in your home. So you want to create that whole experience and that welcoming feeling for them in your home. In addition, today's buyers also want to be able to entertain immediately. This is pretty common with today's buyers. They don't want to be bringing people through their home and saying, oh, just imagine this area will look like this, and we're going to change this, and we're going to change that. They want to know they can entertain right away. Even if they do plan on making some alterations, updates, repairs as they go through, or as they live in the home, they want to know that they don't have to do that right away. They'd like to be able to invite their family and friends over immediately and be able to show off the home to them. They also want the best bang for their buck. Everyone wants a deal, right? And especially today when you have the option of being able to shop online for anything that you want. If I go to Amazon, it doesn't have what I'm looking for at a great price. I'm going to check out Walmart online as well. Then I'm going to hit up eBay. I've got options, right? Your home buyers also have options. No matter what kind of real estate market it is, even if there isn't a ton of inventory out there, they still want their options. So they want to shop around a little bit and get the best bang for their buck. We are in a seller's market, which, our market's fluctuated in Waterloo region a little bit between the seller's market and the buyer's market over the last couple of years. When we're in more of a seller's market, it's all that more important for your buyers to want to get the best bang for their buck, right? So it's really important that we show a move-in ready house. Essentially, today's buyers, no matter what price point they're purchasing, they want champagne and caviar. They want it all. Don't we all, though? So they want to get that move-in ready home. A move-in ready home essentially is a home that someone wants to be able to move into immediately and not have to worry about renovating or updating right away. It's not to say that they won't make some changes, but this is why things like neutral paint colors and updated light fixtures and those types of things are really important right away. You also want to make sure that your bathrooms, your kitchens, and those important living areas are easy to use, no major dysfunctions, nothing major that needs to be repaired. Today's buyers want move-in ready. So look around your home and figure out what it is that today's buyers would want to see in your home, maybe things that you've had on your to-do list that you haven't done yet. It's a really good idea to take care of those before you sell. Now, I know what you're saying. You don't want to spend money on a house that you're selling, but it will help you not only to sell your home a lot faster and, of course, for the maximum profit, but it'll help you to get back to normal life so much easier, right? So taking care of those few things, it really does translate into big bucks when it comes to selling your home in any market. So hopefully this has helped to give you a little bit of great insight into today's home buyers and their general behaviors and perceptions. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at beyondthestagehomes.com. Give us a shout, 226-240-0766. We at Beyond the Stage Homes are always happy to help you in your home selling needs. I'm Shauna Lynn Simon with Beyond the Stage Homes, Waterloo Region's #1 home staging team. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.